The day has arrived. Cue Mariah. Today I am finally cracking open Eye of the World by Robert Jordan, and I'm taking you along with me. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Alexis Brianna, and today is the day. Today is the day. We are finally reading the first book in the Wheel of Time series, Eye of the World by Robert Jordan. And if you've been following my videos, you know it has been a saga. A labor of love, if you will. I don't know about love, but it's been a labor trying to find the series, let alone the first book, without the Amazon marketing on it. So this is my first reading session for this book, and initially the strategy was I was gonna start reading it, and if there was like a memorable moment or a moment where I'm like, oh, I gotta talk to my people about this, then I would press record and post a video about it. But I said, you know what, let's commemorate, let's celebrate finally opening up this book. And I still think I'm gonna still do like reactions and those type of moments, and then also do a recap of each video in the 14 book series once I finish each book. But I don't know. I wanted to just like hit record, see where this takes us, and again, just commemorate finally opening up this book. I think that's it. Oh, I am gonna immersively read this book because it is, again, it's a big moment, and I think I'm gonna have to read this in multiple places to get through this thing in a month. So, anyways, I think that's it. Let's get to reading. Okay, I have to stop for now. But okay, for anyone who is deciding to join in this reading journey with me, I do have to let you know that if you're listening to the audio version of the book, especially in the beginning, it's very different. So I was like a little thrown off. The book has, I think, it has an earlier, a prologue, and then it goes into it has a foreword, maps earlier, and then a prologue, and then it gets into chapter 1. However, at least the audio version that I am listening to starts at the prologue, not at the earlier. And then in between the prologue and the in between prologue and chapter 1, it has a section. I was like flipping, like, where is that? I don't see that. Where are we at? So I don't know. I'm interested to see if there's another audio version, because I'm just listening to the Cloud, whatever's on at my library. The Cloud Library, I think, is the app. Yeah, Cloud Library they use. And so I'm just listening to the audio from the Cloud Library, but I'm interested to see if there's like another version online that that has all those other parts, or like, I don't know, that follows this book. I don't know. I'm about to research like the difference between the audio. But anyways, I have so many thoughts. I haven't even made it through chapter 1. I didn't get in as much reading as I would have liked. So I'll be back. I'll be back with my thoughts and some more reading. Okay, bye. Okay, so we're back, and I am on my way to a shoot, and I thought it'd be perfect time to get some reading in, especially because I didn't get as much reading in as I would have liked yesterday. So I have about a 40, 50-ish minute drive, depending on traffic, and just gonna listen to the audiobook. I have a ton of thoughts from what I read yesterday, but I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to get in like a recap, so I may have to do that in the next reading session, and maybe I'll be further along to give more of an in-depth thoughts, I guess, or recap-ish. I don't know what the right word is. It's too early in the morning, but on my way to the shoot, and let's get to reading and driving. Notice anything different? That was so millennial. we're gonna act like that didn't happen. Anyways, so yeah, the transition month has been transitioning and it was time to get braids. It was time to get braids, yeah. So I have really been trying to avoid getting braids because I lived in braids for about 2-3 years between pregnancy, surprise birth, all those things. I didn't have the mental capacity to worry about my hair, and I also in this month don't want to worry about my hair. It's not a worry I don't want to have. So we're gonna be in these for the foreseeable future, I think. We'll see, TBD. But anywho, that's that. So another update, Wheel of Time. Focus on Wheel of Time. A lot of updates in terms of Eye of the World. So I think first up is, so I'm starting the book over with a new audiobook or a new narrator because, listen, I think that certain voices are for certain people, and thankfully there is another version of the audiobook, and it is read by oh my gosh, Rosamund Pike, I think that's how you say her name. But anyways, she plays Moraine or played, since you know it's canceled as of right now, she played Moraine in the TV series, and I really enjoyed her voice. I listened to like a sample and I was like, yep, that's the version for me. That's the version for me. I don't know. I enjoyed it, and I'm used to her voice because of the TV shows. So we're just going to start over. It's okay. It's fine. I wasn't that deep into the book, and I think it will help me read it quicker and want to pick it up when I don't necessarily have time to read the physical book. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to get some coloring in because I don't have much time to read. I think I have like 20-30 minutes because I have a very busy day tomorrow. So I'm going to wind down, listen to the prologue, color, and then tomorrow I do have a busy day, but there is a short window that I think I can get some computer work in and then get some reading in at a Starbucks that's in downtown. So I think I'm going to be able to like make even more progress tomorrow, and then I could listen to it on my drive and things like that. So I think I'll be able to catch back up to where I landed, and I'm gonna try to do a better job of like tracking where I'm at in each of like these reading sessions and stuff like that. I never gave a recap of my thoughts of where I read up until. Okay, so the first thing is, if you are also listening to an audiobook, one thing I want to note is if you have a physical edition that is newer, like the 30th edition that I have, or they have like special editions that they released over time. If you have one of those, there may be an extra prologue in there that is not recorded in any of the audiobooks. That's why I was so confused, because I was like, I'm listening, but the words are not matching. Like, there's an extra section, and so I didn't know what I was reading. And in the old audiobook, at least I was listening to it on Libby through my library, and the chapters were not, it was weird. It had tracks, but it wasn't labeled as chapters, and so it was confusing. Anyways, all that to say, there's an extra prologue in some of the editions. If you have an older edition, there won't be that prologue. There's just the original prologue, and not both. So there's that. That was the confusion of it all. And I don't think I'm going to go back and read the new one because I think it was added based on what I was reading on the interwebs. It was added, I guess because for YA readers, I guess there was a swell of new YA readers. And so they added that extra perspective, and it's a different POV as well. I don't know if we get her POV later on in the book, but it was basically introduced earlier. So anyways, so that I found that out. The second thing is, or really I think this is not the second, we're going down a bulleted list. The prologue, the original prologue. So they reveal a lot in the prologue that was not revealed until later in the TV show. And that's why my eyes were like, I was like, wait, like, this, it was very, it caught me off guard. Because I was like, you don't even get this perspective until way later in the TV show, like deep in, I think, season 1, if I'm remembering correctly, or even season 2. And some of the bits of information, I don't even think they have gone over that part in the TV or it's canceled. I keep saying it like it's not. It's canceled as of right now. But anyways, they talk about specific things that they only allude to in the TV show. And I don't know, it's just very interesting to already. We've only gotten to the prologue at that point. And I'm like, it's already different. From what I got through in chapter 1, it was, of course, more world building, more descriptive, more conversation, which is expected in terms of a book to the TV show. But there haven't been any, at least up until where I was. And again, it was confusing with the tracks. But I think, got through most of chapter 1. I don't know. It was confusing before, but now I'll be able to better track anyways where I'm at because of the new audiobook, or the version I'm reading actually labels the chapters and how far you're in the chapters. So if I'm just listening to the audiobook, I'll be able to better gauge. Anyways. All right, I gotta stop talking because I'm gonna talk my way out of my wind down time. So we're gonna get to coloring. Today is shoot day, so I just picked up some breakfast. I think I'm gonna be able to finish chapter 3 during my commute to the shoot, and I'm really loving this version of the audiobook because the original one that I was listening to on Libby had tracks versus chapters, so it was really hard to plan out audiobook only reading sessions because I just wasn't sure how long a chapter was. I knew the page number, but I didn't know how long in the audiobook it was. So being able to see, okay, chapter 3 is a little bit over 30 minutes. My commute is 30 minutes. I can get in chapter 3 as long as I don't get any calls while I'm on my way there. I'll be able to get through chapter 3. So it's just been really helpful to plan out reading sessions, immersive sessions versus audiobook sessions versus physical reading, and I'm able to easily find my place in the book without having to just figure out, okay, where did I end? Where was that track? And anyways, it's just been really helpful to just plan because I really want to finish this book this month. And I know it's possible if I plan strategically and find those small crevices of time like this 30-minute commute. So anyways, I hope you're having an amazing day, and I'm about to head to my shoot and get some reading in. Okay, so I have a few, well, more than a few. I got quite a bit of errands to run, and I think I'm going to be able to finish chapters 5 through 7 at least. I may be able to even finish chapter 8. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much I'm able to get done. But in terms of my thoughts, I think that I want to... I think I want to keep this vlog, or at least the vlog portion of this video, more spoiler free. That way you're able to read along with me and not be concerned around like if I'm gonna spoil anything or not. I think that's what I want to do. But let me know down in the comment section if that's the vibe. And then at the end I can be like, spoiler, spoiler, spoiler. Here are all my thoughts. Here are all my thoughts. I'm thinking that's what I'm gonna do. I think, let me know. Let me know down in the comments if that is the vibe. Yeah. Anyways, my thoughts around the chapter are, or what I've read so far, is there are some characters who know more than they're letting on. And you can definitely tell more in the writing. And the atmosphere. Oh my gosh. The atmosphere that Robert Jordan is creating through his writing, or that he created in his writing, is so good. Just the celebratory mood of the village and just the underlining tension that you're already feeling. And we're only like 4 chapters in. Is just, I'm so glad I'm reading this book. I am enjoying it. And I think for me, okay, no, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it. Okay, we're going to save it for the end. We're going to save it for the end. Let's run some errands and make some progress in this book. So I was able to finish chapters 5 through 7, which I'm really happy about. I would say the errands were like a 50-50 way because I was able to get returns done, but I also wasn't able to get all of the things on my list. Like, that was kind of a bust. It's annoying. Anyways, focus, Alexis. I have the world. Okay. Where do I even begin? Where do I even begin? The atmosphere. Okay, so the vibe atmosphere that Mr. Jordan was building when he wrote this, 10 out of 10. Enjoying it, loving it, and without getting too much into like the plot and where we're at, I will just say the foreshadowing, we have to put a pin in that, because the seeds that Mr. Jordan was planting, I'm just loving it. I'm loving it because it's like, I know what's coming, which I'm glad I do, because baby, the suspenseful parts and the tension of those suspenseful parts, my heart was racing and I already knew what was going on. I knew what was happening and my heart was still like racing, like it's my first time experiencing the story. And I guess technically it is like written, but like this part of the storyline is the same as the TV show. And so I don't know, I was just, my anxiety and my heart were just like pumping, like I was experiencing it for the first time. Like I was experiencing it for the first time. But I absolutely am loving like just how the story is developing and building, and we're slowly being introduced to more and more of the world and how it works, and a little bit of the magic and the magic system and new characters and new perspectives, and again, just really enjoying where the story is going, how it's building. And I think that's it. I think I'm gonna be able to get a little bit of reading done tonight, and then maybe tomorrow I can do like part 2 of my errands. Maybe I can try to find the things that I didn't find today. I do know I need to get a little bit of some fruit and a couple of things from the grocery store tomorrow. So we'll read tonight, and then tomorrow I'll probably be able to get a little further into the story, and maybe we'll end it tomorrow, because I feel like this is getting a little long. So we'll see. Okay, so I've officially finished chapters 1 through 9 of Eye of the World, and I think it's so fascinating to see what's the same but also very different between the book and the show. I don't know, it's the tone and the pacing and just the atmosphere, the world building, and the small tiny details and the foreshadowing. Oh my goodness. So if you have not read up to chapter 9 and you do not want spoilers, you need to click off at this point. I don't want you coming in the comment section saying, you spoiled the book for me, Alexis, you spoiled the book for me. So hop on off and hop back into the video once you've read up to chapter 9. All right? Okay. We're going to give you a second. Okay. It's a safe zone. Are we safe? Okay, cool. So I have some notes here on my phone because I was like, I need to organize all of my thoughts, because as I was reading, my mind was just ping-ponging, like comparing the differences. And so I was like, let me organize my thoughts so that it's not rabbit trailing and we don't go all over the place. Okay, so first up we have tone and world building. So I think it is so interesting how the book opens versus how the TV show opens. This was something that I noticed really early on. So the book opens with Ran and Tam, and they're walking down the street and they're having conversation, and it literally feels like you're just plopped in on their everyday life. As the reader, and as someone who may not necessarily be familiar with the story, you don't know the danger and the tension and all of the drama that is literally bubbling underneath the surface. But the show, on the other hand, it straight up opens with drama. It straight up opens with tension. You see the Red Aja, who you don't really know are Red Aja. They're just women dressed in red, channeling and doing all of these things and chasing this random man down the street. And so it's just instant tension, instant drama. It's instant, what's the word? Just conflict that's introduced really quick, like way more quicker, versus the book. the tension is way more like, I would say, like slow building. It's where Rand sees the Black Rider, and he feels the eyes on him, and he feels the evil, and he feels the negativity, and it's way more subtle. So I would say the biggest difference for me is the book builds the tension psychologically before it builds it, or before it's tangible, versus the show, it's tangible instantly. And I think it's more, not necessarily because I think it's a stylistic difference, but I think the reason why they did it is because it's just the nature of TV now. As a new show, you have to hook people within the first couple of minutes. If they're not interested in the first couple of minutes, they're going to hop off, because there's so many other options for them to, partake in or watch or, enjoy. And so you really have to hook people sooner. And I think that is why you start building the questions that people have. You start getting their heart rate pumping. You get them interested in what's happening next in the story, because you're starting off with action. So I think that's just my assumption of why they opened it so differently. I think if you open it the same as the book, you just have more time to hook people in books versus hooking people in TV shows and movies and such like that. So the character differences, at least for me, were huge, especially in terms of how they would develop and how some of their stories would impact some of the decisions that they made in the show versus what I'm assuming the decisions they're going to make in the book. So first up, we'll cover Egwene. So she is not even considered one of the candidates as a Dragon Reborn in the book, but in the TV show, she's one of the main people that they're considering around the mystery of who is the Dragon Reborn, right? And also, she hasn't even started wisdom training in the book, but in the TV show, she's already started. That's already something that she's in the middle of. Then we have Matt. Matt in the book is not like the troubled teenager or troubled young adult that you see in the TV show. Like, he doesn't have a troubled parenting or home situation or home life. He's more of a prankster or a jokester that really just has terrible timing, or just like he's not aware of the room, right? Like read the room. He can't read the room in the book, but in the TV show, he's way more troubled. He's like a young adult that's trying to survive, trying to get by, and you can feel like just his struggles of his home life and how it's impacting him as a young adult. We also have Perrin. They literally added a whole wife in the TV show versus in the show, and I was like, wait, he ain't married? He didn't unalive his wife? Like, it's like that whole unaliving situation and the Trolloc fight. Like, the Trolloc situation happens, but he didn't like unalive his wife on accident in the book. Like, that's just something that they just added in maybe for more depth. And I'm assuming they did the same thing for Matt, because it's like, I guess you want people to be not connected, but you want to draw people in, and I'm losing the word, but yeah, you essentially want to draw people in and be connected in some way to the characters. And so I think adding those two storylines in with Perrin and Matt, maybe they did it to create more depth, I guess, if you will, in the TV show. But those were some of the main differences that I noticed with them. And then also the White Cloaks, they are introduced soon, like really soon, if I'm remembering correctly, in the TV show, but they're not mentioned at all. Nowhere in chapters 1 through 9. So that was also something that I noticed. And let me see. Oh yes, okay, so Nynaeve, she is introduced in an interesting way in the book. So it's more of a conversation. I don't remember her introduced the same way in the TV show. I could be misremembering, but I just feel like in the book, she's introduced in a conversation and then she walks into the village. But so you hear talk about her and how she's too young to be a wisdom, but you don't necessarily see her until later on in the chapters, versus in the TV show she's introduced earlier. And I think that's really just the producers wanting you to create buy-in for her character earlier on and just be introduced to her story. Like, she had a whole scene, if I'm remembering correctly, like in the TV show that does not exist in the book. And again, I think that's just probably just creating buy-in for the characters, similar to Matt and Perrin. You want to create an emotional buy-in, an emotional connection, you know. So I think that's why they made those changes to those two. And oh, the last thing that I will say in terms of character differences, which I think is really interesting, is the TV show, I think, ages them a little bit. Like, they feel older versus in the book they feel younger. And I don't know, this feels a little, I can't tell how significant it's gonna be, but it just feels different because I think as older teens or earlier 20s, you make different decisions than you do when you're in your later 20s. You're a little bit more hardened, which it feels like, you know, Perrin and Matt and them are more hardened by their situations, hardened by what's happening at home, happening, you know, in the world in general, versus you're fresh, you're young, you're excited, you're a youth. You know what I mean? You know, and I hope that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. So next we have plot differences. Oh my gosh. So in the TV show, there's more mystery created around who's the Dragon Reborn. And really, that question comes up, like, I mean, throughout the entire first season, and it's not clear the entire first season. Versus to me in the book, even though I've watched the show, it feels like it's evident that the Dragon Reborn is Rand. You're starting to get questions around it through some of the foreshadowing and stories and some of the things that he's saying and all and his dreams and all of the different things. But it's pretty clear that he is like the front runner and only runner as the Dragon Reborn candidate in the book. But I don't know, maybe that's just me, but we've only had his his POV the entire time in the book, so maybe that's why I'm like he's the only candidate that I could see. Like, you see them mention Matt and Perrin, but it's like, I don't know, I'm like, okay, they're tagging along as potential possibilities on the off chance, but it's mostly probably Rand. You know what I mean? I don't know. It was kind of obvious to me. So there were a couple of event orders that were very different and I think really impactful towards how you view, like, who's the Dragon Reborn and some of the foreshadowing and different things like that. So I think I'm only going to cover 3 because of time purposes. We don't need to be here all day. So let's first go into the Trolloc attack, okay? So with the Trolloc attack in the book, Rand and Tam's farm and Perrin's farm are attacked first, and then the Trollocs make their way to the village. Again, another hint at who's the Dragon Reborn. But in the TV show, they all are attacked at the same time. It's more of a coordinated attack and attacking everybody at the same time because it's like, okay, they're attacking the village. The next difference is the whole Rand dragging Tam to Edmund's Field to get looked at by the Wisdom and Moraine. That whole sequence, I don't remember that being in the TV show. Like, was that, like, did I miss it or something? But, like, his whole fever dream and the foreshadowing in that and him basically finding out that his daddy ain't really his daddy. I was like, did I miss that? Let me know in the comment section. Was that in the TV show? Like, am I misremembering something? I just don't remember that. Okay. So the third thing that was missing from the TV show that I really think was pivotal in the book is the Manetheren. Hopefully I said that right. But the Manetheren story that Moraine tells Edmund's Field in the Two Rivers about their origin story. And to me, it makes it more evident why this village, this town, the specific young adults in this town are so important in the story. Because to me, in the TV show, I'm like, why these kids? Why this specific village? And eventually it's explained, but I think they're like cutting that story. I get it. TV show, you have to make creative cuts on, you only have a certain amount of time. I get it. You only have a certain amount of time. But I think if they would have spent a little bit more and not cut that from the show entirely, I think it would have created even more buy-in to why these characters, these kids are specifically important to the storyline and important to the journey and the, what is it called? The mission that they're about to go on. Like, I just think that would have aided in that storytelling in the buy-in of that. Okay, so last we're going to talk about the foreshadowing. Listen, we got so much foreshadowing in the book versus I feel like was all missing to me. Again, I'm gonna have to rewatch the show, but I feel like the amount of foreshadowing in the book was missing from the TV show. So in the book, we have Tam's fever dream, we have the sword description, we have Moraine and her interesting mentions of the Dark One, we have Lan watching the boys super closely. Like, it doesn't feel like any of this is like by accident. It feels like it's intentional, but it's like, it's very subtle. It's like it's like a seed planted so you can like feel it, see it all unravel later, versus in the show, it's just a bunch of plot twists that happen, and there's surprises and their twists and their turns and all of this. And again, I get it. It's TV. You have to keep people interested. You can't slow burn like you would a book, but I really love how the book is just slow, essentially like slow walking you into all of the things that are going to come later. But it's just really interested seeing how many nods that you're definitely going to see later on in this book and essentially in other books as well. So I'm really loving it. So we are 9 chapters in, and I am absolutely loving this story. I love the world building. I'm loving how the tension is building, even though it be getting my heart rate up quite a bit. It does. But I'm absolutely loving it. Now, is the book slower? Yes. I mean, it's 900, 800 some odd pages. I mean, yes, it is way slower than the TV show, but I absolutely think that it's worth it because of just, I don't know, just the storytelling. The storytelling is what makes the slow goingness in comparison to the TV show worth the read for me. I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. So what are your thoughts on the first 9 chapters? Did you enjoy it? Did you prefer the book and how they, like, he's weaving things in and storytelling, or did you enjoy how they sped things up in the TV show? I'd love to know in the comments section. And I'd also like to know, did you enjoy how I did this reading vlog? I had a ton of fun, but I want to know, did you enjoy it, or would you just prefer like we do recaps after sections? I don't know. I think I want to try a couple of different ways of us doing this, but let me know in the comments section. And also, if you've made it to this point in the video, you're a real one, and welcome to the end of the video, crew. This was a long one, so I appreciate you for hanging in there with me. I really enjoyed just hanging out and having discussions, and can't wait to have more discussions with you in the comments section. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe, like, and hit that bell notification so that you don't miss a new video. And listen, I'm gonna do more Will of the Time videos where we're reading and discussing and talking, so you don't want to miss those. All right, so until the next time, happy reading. Bye, y'all.